When I work in the mordant-sage process, because a lot of what happens for my images are not just only in the camera. When I'm working with mordant-sage, they're actually happening in the tray. And it's that same moment of knowing when I've got it, when I'm rocking that tray and I see these veils happening. There's a moment when it's right, you know, and can I always save it? No, but it sure is a joy and a pleasure to see it when it's going on. I mean, it gives me great pleasure to see that happen. It's like a meditation into possibilities, and I think that's, you infuse that in your images, and I certainly try to hold on to that when I'm working in the process, because if I try to rush it, I end up with nothing. The perfect print for me is not always the goal. I mean, if it has a little thing in it that might be off or could be better, I'm okay with that, because none of us are perfect. We all have our flaws, and that's what makes all of us beautiful and unique. So for me, finding that in my photographs, it's the same thing. I want people to connect in a way that they're comfortable with it. With the digital, it's so possible. It's just so, you can make such a beautiful, perfect print. But it's not always that interesting. Sometimes it's boring to me that it can be so correct. And I just think that that's not the way life is. That's not the way we are. So even in making a black and white print in the darkroom for me, I'm not concerned with making everyone to match or to have that same perfection each time, because it's not real. Well, I was lucky enough to take a workshop in 1979, which totally changed my life, and I've never forgot the experience. I went to one, and at the end of 2 weeks, I went home, and at the end of 2 weeks, I signed up for a 3-month program, went home, sold everything I had, stayed up in Maine for a year and a half, and then became part of the workshop family, and it really was a family for me. Teaching has made me, it pushes me because I do have a lot of repeat students. 7, 8 times students come back and take workshops. And I want to give them something new. I kind of also say that a lot of my classes are 95% therapy and 5% photography. It's really about accessing that, but in the end, you come out with images that are more important and that are going to last longer, and stepping stone images, I call them, you know, things that take you to the next thing. I love the possibilities in photography, and that there's little shifts in the road, you know, and I'm definitely the road not taken, so I may have meant to go down one road, but I will always choose the path that one and more wear. I mean, I will always go there. It's who I am, and it's who shows up in my photography, and that's how it should be. It's who I am. I've probably known every stepping stone image I've made at that moment, and I often will look down, especially when it used to be film, I would look down and I would say, frame 17. It's a feeling that's so inside. It's so wonderful when it happens, because we all make a lot of lovely images. I have a lot of lovely images, but there's 10, you know, I mean, in our career, our whole lifetime, if we have 10, you know, that are just astounding images that really always ask questions and you always go back to. Well, when I look at one of those keepers, I think, thank God, you know, because we all want to have them. I also think you can't walk around with the same box of prints, so I'm happy to take one out for something else if I get another keeper. But when I see those, I just think I'm so happy. I'm so happy that I've made something that is going to have universal interest, I think, and that everybody that's into a visual, looking at something visually, will look at it and go, wow, yes, they'll get it. I mean, they'll they'll be intrigued by it. They may not understand it, but they're going to be intrigued enough to continue to look at that picture. And even if they looked at it 2 years from now, come back again and go, something there. I do believe that all photographs are self-portraits, and for me, I've always added, that are somewhere between imagination and dreams, because it's, it's all of our memories, it's our childhood, it's the accumulation of all the things that make us, and that's what we bring to making the images.